Not this hard deciding too. Why can I not just get a statement? And then with kids, it's like, well, am I logging into the patient portal as the kid or as the parent? Which name do I use? Do I use something?
Well, that's confusing. Okay. All right, so it is 9:05, and this is the Finance Committee on June 17th, 2024. And Tyler will not be able to make it today, but we do have Jim and Dana in attendance. So thank you all for attending. We do have guests this morning. I believe Terry and Alex are here representing SMPA to talk about our Go Green program, or their Go Green program, and their proposal to have the town of Silverton join in. So Alex, and it looks like Alex, you're ready to kick it off here?
Yeah, thanks, Gloria. Hey, I want to say good morning, of course, and thank you all for having me here to talk a little bit about our Totally Green program and give a little bit of background information about that, and of course answer any questions about how Totally Green membership could help you all with achieving your climate action goals that you've recently identified. So for those of you who haven't seen, we do have a program that is entitled Totally Green. And the idea is that for in contribution for that program, essentially you can take all of your energy, 100% of the energy that is used by your operation, whether you're at the county level, the town level, a business, or even just an individual household. 100% of the energy that you use, if you participate in this program, is from energy that is generated from a renewable source like solar, wind, and hydro as examples. So the program is, there's a lot of benefits of the program. One is that it's very simple to sign up, and it's a one-time thing. Once you're signed up, it's automatically built into the bill. So it's easy, it's simple. Second of all, the funds that are collected through Totally Green go into our green fund. And SMPA started a green fund decades back that is its own separate, it's completely separate from our general fund. It is a regenerative fund. It's set aside for green projects within the SMPA service territory. So funds that are collected through Totally Green and through our Green Blocks program contribute to this pool of money, and it is basically used to support a lot of the green programs that we have running. Just in between, for example, the years of 2020 to 2022, this fund, which is completely volunteer supported, put out over $580,000 in rebates, in supporting local green and clean energy initiatives, helping our income qualified members to weatherize their homes through the IQ program, helping to make buildings throughout our region more energy efficient. And by the way, and to make lifestyles more affordable, because now that those upgrades are made, that saves those members money. All of these green fund dollars go to support those initiatives. And if you've ever gone to our website, the SMPA website, you'll see the long list of rebates that we offer. We have rebates for EV charging infrastructure, rebates for energy efficient tools, rebates for solar, PV rebates or photovoltaic. So all of these programs would not exist if it were not for the Green Fund and the contributions that come in through programs like Totally Green. And I will say just one other thing, what impact does this have? We recently, with the help of Eco Action Partners, published an impact report where Eco Action, with our help, helped to calculate how do we measure the impact of these initiatives. And there's some really impressive statistics on that report. One of them is if you just take the rebates that we were distributed from that same time period, as I said, from 2020 to 2022, for LED bulbs, which are the most efficient way to light a space, the most light for the least amount of energy, and appliance upgrades. If you put just those two things together, you're looking at 1,468 metric tons of CO2 emissions that were averted, that were not produced. So for any entity that has climate action goals, for instance, Uray County, which is a Totally Green member, San Miguel County, the town of Ridgeway, and the town of Mountain Village through the gondola program, all of these entities have set climate action goals to reduce carbon. And as a participant in Totally Green, you are directly contributing to the reduction of carbon emissions in our region. And we're very pleased to run the program and to see all of those who are voluntarily choosing to participate. Another thing that I might mention is the program itself is very affordable. Essentially, it's a penny extra per kilowatt hour of use. We in the electric industry don't sell widgets, we sell kilowatt hours. And so every kilowatt hour you use that's what we measure. And for a penny extra per kilowatt hour, you could think of that as the price of a cheeseburger and a soda, or fries that some of your tourists might spend when they come into town. It's a very affordable, and also wanted to give a shout out. You've already got some local businesses. The Coffee Bear just down the street is a Totally Green member and is really kind of leading the way, because this is something that they see that's important for their business. So I wanted to at least give a shout out to them as well. And that's kind of my spiel. I do have the ability to answer questions if there are any.
Thanks, Alex, for coming. This is Dana. Do you anticipate that like the cost would go up year over year, or it's pretty stable, or what could we kind of expect to see in the future?
I'm not aware of any plans to change the cost. It's always been, as long as the program has been in existence, it's been a penny extra per kilowatt hour.
Gotcha, thank you.
Well, I want to
Yes.
thank everyone.
Terry had his hand up. Yeah, Terry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to add to Alex's spiel there that some of the local impacts of the town and potentially the county going totally green. Two things in particular. One, the recent prize award that Team Gold received, the monies that SMPA was apportioned in that process went into our Totally Green Fund, and then are matched by the Totally Green Fund to support specific initiatives in Silverton and San Juan County with these grant proposals, one of which is to eventually look at a locally sited solar system and a microgrid in Silverton. So the Green Fund is our vehicle for funding matching funds to get some of this grant money. So you're basically, it's a kind of a self-feeding loop that, you know, by contributing to the program, you're going to get the direct benefits from that same program. The other thing I want to mention is, I know you guys are maybe not the finance committee so much, but the town and the county are reviewing the recent climate action plan that's specific to Silverton and the region. And one of the major goals in both the appendix for Silverton and San Juan County is to increase the amount of local renewable energy production and offset local, greenhouse gases. By participating in this program, you're immediately offsetting 100% of the town's municipal electric use with renewable energy. So just by this act alone, you're making a big, checking off a major milestone in your future climate action plan. So it's a pretty inexpensive and efficient way to have a large impact locally. So that's all I wanted to contribute to that speech.
Thanks, Terry. That's really helpful. Have you also seen other communities use this in a way to tout what they're doing to access additional funds outside of our region?
Absolutely. And Alex does a lot of, and he will work with you to form press releases and, community outreach information, basically, touting the fact that you as a community have chosen to go totally green. And that's, that's pretty powerful. Ski resorts, I've talked to the new owners of the ski resort briefly about this, and they can claim that 100% of their ski operation is powered by renewable electricity. I haven't quite got Telluride to get on board with that yet, but because they have a huge bill, but they're doing it in other ways, through the gondola program and things like that. There's our totally green dude sticker.
Don't forget, when you go totally green, you get the stickers to put in your windows.
And how can you pass that up? Come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put one on your forehead if you want.
Jim, I saw you come off mute. Did you have some questions for Alex or Terry?
Good morning. No, I don't have any questions. I think this is nifty in theory, and I support it.
One quick response to the question about cost. The rate that you pay for Totally Green, or that anybody pays, and by the way, there's like 450 individual residences, so this isn't limited to municipalities. You, as individual members, could also sign up for this on an individual basis, but the rate's not going to change. The amount that the town would pay on an annual basis will just fluctuate with your usage. So
Right.
that's the variability. And in fact, with we've got two programs that the Team Gold is working on. One is beneficial electrification, and that's being funded out of the Green Fund. Our contributions to that initiative are funded out of the Green Fund. But as the town begins to electrify more, and most of the town facilities probably aren't subject to that as much as the residents, your electric use may go up, but as well, if we're able to put in a large solar microgrid in town, that's going to significantly reduce the amount of electric consumption in the town, as well as be the local source for the renewable energy credits that feed the program. So eventually, if there's a large solar system in town, the RECs that come from the purchase of Totally Green will be produced locally. I mean, right there in your community. So you'll be able to not only claim 100% renewables, but you can also claim that it's not only from renewables, it's from locally produced and sited renewables, which would be really cool.
Yeah, and you're kind of investing into that program for the future.
Yep.
And I mentioned the stickers. Another thing on the press and on the public kind of outreach and acknowledgement for large entities, we do have these really cool vases, and we'll do a photo op. We'll come and present this. We'll put a plant inside, and it's got the logo on it, and it's something that you can place in the offices, and people see it, and it's just another visual reminder. Also, a photo op is something that can show up in the newspapers, and
Uray County has their pot in their courthouse as soon as you walk in, so they can say the courthouse is powered by 100% renewable. You kind of look like Vanna White there for a moment. I'd like to buy a vowel.
You can't put the PR guy in a meeting and not have him show off some fun. So.
Do businesses that currently participate in the Energy Star program and purchase and own carbon credits, do they get any sort of recognition in this local program?
So,
or is that totally separate?
I believe that would be a separate kind of thing. If you go through Totally Green, we are purchasing the RECs, kind of purchasing and retiring the RECs on the behalf of the participant.
Okay.
So the RECs that feed the program, by the way, 70% of them come from our own local generators, which are our three community solar gardens, the 4 micro hydro plants. The other portion of it we purchase on the open market from Tri-State, our supplier, from their solar and wind program. So that the renewable energy credits that are used to offset your electric through this program are most 70% are produced locally. If and when we get a big solar system in Silverton, then you'll be able to say those RECs are coming from a locally sited system. So you're going to be contributing to that big pool that all of SMPA can use. And if there's excess beyond what the town uses, it goes into that pool. But we would credit the locally produced RECs to your usage.
Thank you.
Another benefit of the program is
retiring them is the term they use. We retire them on your behalf.
right. That's another very important part of the program is that the benefits are staying local. They're staying within the region, within the footprint of SMPA. And so, you know, that's important.
Program.
That's important for a lot of folks.
Fantastic. Thank you.
The last point that from SMPA's accountability point of view, this is totally a voluntary program. So those in, say, the West End that don't want to participate don't have to. They don't pay into it if they don't want to. But if they do pay into it, then they're co-oping with others like you guys that pay into the program, and then they get the benefits. So this is not something that burdens our rate structure. It's not funded by the general fund. It's strictly a separate program with its own charter and its own accountability and its own bank account.
Are there benefits to having all these different, and I shouldn't say having, are there benefits belonging to all these different programs and paying into all these different funds?
So
Because the sales pitch for originally getting into these, especially during the remodel of this hotel and other properties around Silverton, were getting credits and offsets for tax purposes. And I wonder if those would be affected by jumping into something new, or do those essentially phase out and then we as a community, we as individual business owners can jump on this and still take advantage of the same incentives.
They're independent programs, so they operate completely independently. You can participate in one or both or none, as far as I know. The direct benefit from whether it be a individual resident like you guys participating individually or the town doing it as a municipality is that it does feed the program that we use to provide all of these incentives back. So if you buy an electric vehicle, or if you buy an electric bike, or if you put in a high efficiency heat pump or a solar system, this is what funds the SMPA rebates, is this program. So the hotel may have received rebates when they did the remodel for various things, and that was all funded out of this program without having to pay into it. This is an opportunity for the town to step up along with Ridgeway and Uray and the other counties and participate as a local community with the same mindset, and then to get the direct benefits.
Multiplying the effect of any contribution that you're making, because now you're putting into a pool, and that pool can spread the benefits through the rebates, through the support of the local renewable energy generators that we have in the region, that you might not be able to do as an individual or as a business. But when you pool that money into the green fund, it's able to lift heavier. It's able to leverage a little bit.
I also mentioned that it's used for matching purposes. So most of the rebates that SMPA offers through the green fund are matched by Tri-State, because we have a fund to pay for it. They double the money. So there's not only a pay it forward aspect, but there's a leveraging aspect to it. So we're able to tap other funds by having this fund.
Helps bring outside money to help improve our situation.
No, I think this is terrific.
What I think I hear Jim asking too, and is if we're promoting this more widely. Jim and I are both on the Chamber of Commerce board, so we talk to business owners. I think a question would be, let's say a business owner wanted to put a solar array on their business and they could qualify for rebates from SMPA. does that, I don't think that precludes them from qualifying from other rebates that might be available at the state or federal level as well. You can layer them on top of each other.
Bundle them, they call it, yeah. Or
Mhm.
stack them. Yep, for sure.
That's correct.
And one thing that Alex, I'm sure will hit you up with if you choose to participate in this program is helping us spread the word on the program. You know, do some joint marketing, do some PR, try to get some more of the local businesses to sign up, some of the local residents, because they'll derive the exact same benefit proportionally.
Yeah, thanks. All right, well, I think we have some good stuff to talk about. I really appreciate you guys joining and sharing this with us and all the work you've been doing on the climate action plan, working with town staff on really improving our resiliency here and providing us with these kind of options. We're thankful to have you guys as a partner.
You bet. Thanks for having me. And if any other questions come up, you know, I'm always accessible. It's just alex@smpa.com. You probably have my contact. If not, it's on our website. As well as information about Totally Green is on our website as well. So that's a good resource.
Great. Thanks, Alex.
You bet.
Thank you.
So on that, I didn't want to start these conversations all around budgeting. I'm trying to kind of spread them out, but this would be something that we would anticipate budgeting for if you all wanted for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Starting to think about the budget, did you have thoughts on like, is this a good way to leverage some funding? Again, this idea that we can, you know, tout that we're doing this, leverage this for future grants. Obviously, we already have a great partnership with SMPA and we're accessing some of their efforts through the climate action plan and through the Go Green program. It's not a huge additional cost if it helps us access additional funding and is a good investment kind of in our climate future, but kind of curious your guys' perspective, the staff town.
I think at this point, it's definitely I mean, we are receiving the services, so it is kind of this, do you want to pay into those services that we're receiving kind of, discussion with SMPA. I think leaving it as an option in the 2025 budget and kind of seeing, you know, we can prioritize it from there.
Yeah.
So being transparent when I put the budget together and increases that, I mean, I think I put that in the memo,
Yeah.
about 5,000 a year.
Yeah.
But kind of giving you guys that option to weigh that against other expenses in the general fund.
Yeah, right. If we build it in, we can work around it later as well. That's what we often have to do.
Mm-hmm. So would you be okay with kind of staff building it in and then we can discuss if we want to take it out, if we would prioritize other things over it?
Cool.
I think, oh, go ahead, Jim.
No, I'm just listening. There's ever since we've upgraded our system or something, this Zoom workplace, it's not my camera's on. I'm watching my
Well, you
Self,
look up.
but
Look up.
it's clearly not projecting to you guys. So you're intently watching.
I think that it could be worthwhile to put it in the budget and have a larger discussion with the board. It seems in line with some of our master plan strategies and our climate action plan. And so that seems like a way to carry the momentum from that. And just, you know, we'll continue to have lots of discussions about the budget through the next couple months. That's my perspective, but happy to hear, Jim, your thoughts.
Repeat that again, please.
I said, happy to hear your thoughts. I'm very open to having it in the budget and using that to keep the momentum from the climate action plan and the work we've been doing. And also know that it might be up for discussion as we have our budget conversations.
I don't want it to take away from anything that we're currently doing, or currently we could push that money towards for this fiscal year.
And this would be for
But I
2020.
understand if this is going to be for 2025, correct?
Yes, this would be built into
Nope.
2025 for people to discuss. I'm sorry, we're having a little trouble with your audio now.
Can you hear us, Jim?
I can hear you fine. You can't hear
Okay.
me at all, can you?
No, we can hear you. It's kind of just in and out, but we can hear you clear now.
I'm sorry. What a
No, we
silly
can hear you
situation.
now. It sounded like what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm all for it for 2025. That's
Okay.
what I was saying. I'm all for this for 2025.
All right, sounds good.
I apologize.
No problem. We had some issues here too, so we're working through our Zoom as well. Technology. Okay, great. So I will build it in, but be transparent on where it was built in so that you all can prioritize in the budget for 2025. Thanks. Moving on to sales
Cool.
tax report. We did have it looks as though a lower month than the previous year, but as you can see, there's always this like, in the last couple of years, there's been like kind of this balloon payment and it is from one entity. And they had paid last year, if you did 2 months in the rear, it would be in January. And then this year, they paid 2 months in the rear in April. So just kind of wanted to point that out, that they kind of do these big balloon payments. Since they, so.
Yeah, that was my question. I figured that was how that was working.
But we are down a little bit from last year. If you see the completed months at the top, we had collected 447,282 by this time last year, and this year we've collected 410,735.
But there also wasn't one of those types of payments.
Right, we didn't get one of those balloon payments this time, so not sure. We don't really have any control over when.
Right, and but it is an expense that you're expecting to be paid.
Not sure if they have the revenue to pay that.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's just an observation, and we will see how the next month plays out.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to our actuals. I didn't have too many concerns. There's still a lot we need to do to clean up our GL codes. And we want to do that slowly and methodically because auditing purposes, if we start changing line items and names, and that gets confusing for our auditors. So we've been trying to do kind of a slow integration into new GL codes. The one thing we are really tackling right now is grants and making sure we have income, and you can see that reflected in these actuals. Is we're starting to really break out every grant income into a GL code rather than going into like a general one. So was kind of happy with how that played out in our actuals this go around.
Great. One question that I heard that actually Ron brought up that was interesting and thinking about it for the 2025 budget is our animal permit line item. Makes it look like we have one animal in town.
Yeah, it's something that, you know, we have all these programs, but enforcing the programs is a whole different beast. So we do have an animal permit program, and I think I want to commend the one person that actually
has a dog in town.
Registers their dog.
Yeah. I suspect that it's just like nobody has any idea.
Correct. And another thing is education, like trying to get all those programs out and advertise that people can participate in.
A question I had was on the professional services category. I know I should be remembering this, but like so in the, I think in the administrator line item,
Mhm.
the professional services category, can you remind me what?
Sure, so that one, so that you'll see there's 13,000.
Yeah.
And something else was coded there, so that I'm pretty sure that needs to be moved.
Okay.
Because we had just budgeted for the budget software, basically.
Yeah.
To come out of that, and it's
Okay.
10,000 a year.
Yeah,
But we deferred the $3,000 setup fee to this year, and that's why it was 13,000. When I did look into that line item, there had been some accounting, basically our professional services that need to go into
Oh,
our town
good.
clerk.
yeah.
Yeah, so. we'll
Yeah,
make
because that looked, professional services CPA was really low. Yeah, okay, got it, that makes sense.
And the new CPA's been working out fantastic.
Great.
They've actually been able to take on, I was really struggling with the USDA budget form that they had given me, and our CPAs have taken it over to try and help out, and they've administered those types of grants before, so very helpful.
That's a great resource.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this question, but just for the general public, with the senior center, the operating supplies. We budgeted 8,600 and we spent 16,000.
Yeah.
Then that was, part of that's getting reimbursed from Carrie, right?
So that GL code is the same thing that we use for the grow dome.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the same code.
Yeah.
And so, yes, of 95 of that will get reimbursed.
Yeah.
Or has been slowly reimbursed.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Yeah, so nothing stood out to you as like, whoa, what's going on here? Sorry.
No, just a couple codings, but those are pretty easy to clean up.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm loving getting these reports early in the year. It really helps set us up for our future.
Yeah.
We used to only get these reports starting in like June, July, August.
Yeah.
So having them available in March is really.
Yeah. The other one stood out to me under street maintenance, again, other professional, we budgeted 20,000, we've spent 345. Is that gonna be a big contracting payment? Or?
No, so we budgeted that for a high snow year.
Oh, okay.
So we had a.
For higher.
Yes, so it still could be spent down this winter, but not to the extent that we had probably budgeted for.
Anyway, budgeted for that, I wasn't sure what code it got there, so great. Jim, I don't wanna leave you out if you have any great comments here.
I don't have any great comments. I have always good comments, but nothing great. But thank you.
All right.
Okay,
All right, and so then we will go to, I did want to update you all that we did not receive the T-Mobile grant for the lift operation. So that will be coming out of our general fund and probably having to do a supplemental.
and did we get any feedback? On where we missed the mark or what we did then?
You know, I don't know, Sarah Moore was administering that grant, so, or was writing that, and all I received was that we did not receive it, so. It is a national grant, very competitive.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Melina, audit updates.
Karen and I have been sending everything along that is in their schedule. And currently we are waiting for Mr. Hinkle to get back to us with a list of invoice scans. And anything else that he might need. But we've got a big audit folder in the shared drive right now that we've been throwing stuff into, so as he gets back to us, we'll send out more information.
Great, and that's worked.
Okay.
good this year.
Yeah, so we should be, I mean, we should be,
I think that we're on track. Seems like,
yeah, so typically we have to submit our audit on, July 31st, by July 31st. And we're definitely on track to do that. I feel like we're more on track than we've been in previous years, but we also haven't gotten that final communication with him yet, so.
yeah, I haven't
We'll see.
gotten any frantic phone calls or emails.
Yeah.
So-
So look at your trash, then just let me down everything.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, the sooner I have that information, the sooner I can start building out our 2023 budget, so
Yeah.
I'm always like,
Yeah.
let's get it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yep. Great.
All right. Well, that is all I have for the go to the finance committee unless anyone has anything else.
No, ma'am.
All right, have a wonderful Monday.
Thanks, Jim.
Take care. It is
Thanks,
9,
everybody.
and we're adjourning.